Hello and welcome to Aging Fearlessly. I'm Guillermo Vidal and I'm here to guide you for the next few minutes on this program. Now, as you may know, I've been doing a series of shows on ABC's new senior dating series titled The Golden Bachelor. At the conclusion of my last show, I mentioned that I would talk about how to uncover the red flags a prospective partner is exhibiting in front of you. Now, these are not always visible. So it's important that I start out by defining what I mean by red flags. Simply stated, throughout the years, red flags have been used to signal oncoming dangers. And red flags signal that when it comes to relationships. Red flags are an early warning of trouble on the horizon. Red flags give warning of a serious, perhaps even terrible character flaw that the individual embodies. The problem with identifying red flags, especially if you're now 60 and have not been dating since high school, is that although you may instinctively feel something with the other person is off kilter, by the way, instincts are a sure sign that you're seeing a red flag. It may take a while to discover what the danger sign is actually trying to tell you. By now you might be asking, well, if these red flags are so visible, why are people in a relationship so willing to ignore them, even when these signs are readily apparent to everyone around them? Well, the answer is simple. It's hard to acknowledge, especially in the early stages of a romantic relationship, or as I call it, the Bliss Bubble, that the subject of our infatuation has objectionable character issues. In other words, we see what we want to see and not what we should see. Now, this factor depends on the person's reasons for wanting to be in a relationship. These can range from everything between just a desire to have a regular sex partner or just the fear of being alone. As I mentioned in my last program, it seems to me that the Golden Bachelor and his 22 suitors have an exaggerated fear that this may be their last chance at love. And this may make it even harder for them to see the red flags that are flying. I also fear the contestants on this show will not be able to decipher much about the person they're going to marry because the situation is so artificial that the red flags will remain hidden. The fact is that at the end of each show, Gary Turner is not doing any real processing when it comes to picking the women who will continue on the show and those who leave. He's picking them on his level of attraction and connection with the ones who stay. Now, one might argue that a strong level of attraction and connection is imperative when choosing a partner. Agreed. But a real con artist can make you believe anything, and it takes time in real life situations with a person to begin sorting them out. And this will be impossible to do in the Golden Bachelor, where everyone arrives in limousines to a beautiful mansion and all the dates are unusual and super fun. For you, more than likely, you will meet people online or someone in your art class or someone you met through a friend or family member. Now, let me give you some examples of red flags that I have uncovered throughout my senior dating experiences. Number one, lying. People you date tend to lie about little things like their age or by showing flattering pictures of themselves on their dating profile of a time when they were, let's say, 30 pounds lighter or 10 years younger. They might even say they have a college degree, but all they did was finish 1 year of college. Now, I know what you're thinking. We all tell little white lies or exaggerate things about ourselves. So why is this so bad? It is bad because it was done with the intent of tricking you into dating them. This is manipulation. And they're lying about little things to you. You have no way of knowing what other lies they're telling you. Okay, number two, history of past relationships. Now let me start out here with full disclosure. I'm twice divorced, and even though both my marriages lasted 20 years, someone might consider my marital record a red flag. Fair enough. But having said that, I'm talking here about someone who does not seem to last in relationships for more than a handful of years. Now, I'm not talking here about a 25-year-old who has had a couple of boyfriends or girlfriends, and those relationships only lasted, say, 3 years. I'm talking about a 50-something-year-old who tells you about a litany of relationships they have had that have not lasted more than a few years. By the way, these were not necessarily marriages. What this red flag tells you is that this person may not be able to handle the ups and downs of a long-term relationship. Number 3, find out how people live in the privacy of their homes. Seeing how someone lives tells you a lot about them. For example, are they slobs? Here's another example. A female friend of mine introduced me to a guy she was dating because she wanted my opinion. And I found nothing wrong with the guy. He was funny, intelligent, charming, good-looking, well-educated, and had great energy about him. So I told my friend that, and she appreciated my opinion, but mentioned that she was frustrated because the guy had never invited her to his home. Now, I saw her a month later, and she told me that they had broken up. When I asked why, she mentioned she had finally gone to his home, and what she found was astounding. Apparently, there were boxes stacked up so high and things all around there in every room of the house with barely a path to get by all of this. He was a hoarder. It was important to find that out. Number 4, the person's always bad-mouthing his or her previous partners. Now, I usually never went on a second date with someone who spent the majority of the day bad-mouthing their spouse or spouses or previous boyfriends. To me, this was a sign that this person had not done their personal work to process and understand what went wrong and what worked in the relationship. People who do this, they're not taking responsibility for their own actions, which means they have not learned what they did to cause the relationship to fall apart. Now, for you, this is an indication they will not take responsibility in yours either. Whatever goes wrong, it'll be your fault. Now, I could go on with these red flags, but I'll stop with these. And I know you might be saying, man, you're being picky. Well, that's right. You need to be picky. At our age, you want a relationship that will be fulfilling, supportive, fun, romantic, and loving. There's a lot more to this than just how attractive someone is and how good they are in the sack. Anyway, thank you for spending your valuable time with me today. See you soon. I hope you enjoyed the show.